They quickly found out about a man named Hans, but his front door was locked and no one was home. Henry found a poisoned dead mouse in his backyard, and there were also a lot of aconite flowers, also known as bird's head. As they went further in, they saw a room full of laboratory equipment, clearly a den for making poison. Suddenly, they heard the sound of the door opening, and then Hans walked in. Xiao Qiao raised her gun to arrest him, but Hans grabbed a container with poison and threw it at them. At that moment, Henry had no time to chase the culprit because the poison was already entering Xiao Qiao's bloodstream. He only had 1 minute left. Henry took the ethanol from the table and applied it to her hand, quickly neutralizing the poison and saving Xiao Qiao's life. According to the investigation, Hans was a chemistry expert. His wife had died 3 years ago when she accidentally fell onto the subway tracks, and the driver who hit her was the recently deceased traffic controller. So the collision was a long-planned act by Hans. However, Henry was still confused, thinking it was a mysterious person targeting him. Soon, the police found more poison, enough to fill 2 gallons, and there were traces of ethanol in it. Henry deduced that Hans wanted to make the aconite poison soluble to produce large quantities, possibly intending to kill more people. When Henry saw many strange paintings on the table, he flipped one over and found that the design was exactly like the ceiling of the central station he had visited years ago. Combined with the location where Hans' wife was killed, which was exactly this station, everyone realized the severity of the situation. The police quickly surrounded the central station, but there was no sign of Hans in the crowded hall. Henry noticed the air vents on the walls, and although it was particularly cold that night, the air conditioning was running. He guessed that Hans made the poison soluble so it could spread through the air. Then the two of them went to the rooftop where the ventilation system was installed, but they didn't find anything unusual. Henry thought he was being too suspicious. Suddenly, "Officer," someone called out. After Xiao Qiao collapsed, Henry was forced to work as free labor. Hans made him put the poison into the ventilation system. Henry tried to reason with him, but the desperate man wouldn't listen. He even threatened Henry, saying he had a gun. Then he shot him in the chest. At the critical moment, Henry used his strong willpower to stand up and jump down with Hans. Both lost their lives immediately, and Henry entered a time tunnel. When Xiao Qiao woke up in the hospital, the first thing she saw was a handsome man standing by the window. Henry told her she had been shot, and Hans had realized his mistake at the last moment and jumped to his death. The poison had not been released, but Xiao Qiao still felt something was wrong. In her daze, she seemed to see 2 people jumping together. Henry told her it might be a side effect of the anesthesia. At that moment, the mysterious person's phone rang again and told Henry that they were both people who truly wanted to die, something they couldn't choose. They shared the same pain and suffering. Since they couldn't find a solution, they decided to have some fun and become soulmates for eternity. Henry didn't know what the real purpose was. After saying goodbye to Xiao Qiao, he was ready to leave. "Henry, are you okay?" "I'm fine. Can't die. Can't die." As Henry left the hospital, he was lost in memories. He had experienced countless deaths in his life, endless pain and suffering. His soulmate was only his wife. They met during World War II. Henry, a battlefield doctor, saw his wife rescue an infant, and they fell in love and got married. The baby they saved was now Abraham. Unfortunately, he had aged, but Henry remained young. Soon after being discharged, Xiao Qiao came to find him and returned his watch, inviting Henry to be her forensic expert. With Abraham's help, Henry readily accepted. What strange things would this golden duo face next? We'll continue tomorrow.